speaking for myself, but our, let's see, financial history sometimes is not the clearest of it all. Yeah, no, I mean, I made poor decisions all across the board. Not gonna lie about that. And so it's unfortunate because, you know, you work hard and to get yourself back, you know, on your own 2 feet and to where you need to be. And it sounds like for me, inevitably, I'm still like staring my demons in the face, you know, like these, you know, past, I had an eviction, you know, a while ago. Circumstances were not good. You know, I wasn't responsible. And, you know, those are things that I have to deal with. And
so you had the door slammed in your face quite a few times. Then.
Yes.
So you're trying to find a new place, trying to get back.
Trying to find a new place and trying to be completely open and honest about it. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to hide anything. I wasn't trying to sugarcoat anything. I wasn't trying to pretend like I was something that I'm not. Because I figured, you know, they're going to find out anyway, you know, and, you know, these apartment complexes that are, you know, basically, I mean, I use the word judging, but that's not right. But it felt that way, you know, because you're basically putting yourself out there saying, I just want to live in your community. Like, I just want to be able to have my home be where you have available apartments. And, you know, I'll do my own thing, I promise. And just kind of like, okay, does that work? And then they are like, well, after we looked over, you know, X, Y, and Z, we're going to go with no or whatever. And, you know, I'm like, but you don't even know me, but you don't even know what I'm doing today, but you don't even know how far I've come. And, you know, it got really super frustrating because it felt like, but I mean, and the thing is, it's not their job to hear my sob story, or I don't want to say sob story, because in reality, and then I just started picking it to pieces. Like my mom was saying, you need to stop, because I was like, they're freaking looking at pieces of paper, you know, trying to make a decision on if I'm going to be, you know, responsible in the future for them. I mean, I'm a risk, right? That's the bottom line.
Yeah, but I think you're less a risk than somebody because I kind of went through the same thing, and there was an apartment complex that I thought, man, this would be a good fit, and then no felonies for 10 years. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have any felonies. And it was like, no misdemeanors for 3. And I'm like, wait. So I'm a better person today than I was 3 years ago when I didn't have any misdemeanors. And they would have taken that guy, the drunk guy who never leaves his apartment except to go to work, when he's probably, if you would pull him over, would have not passed the breathalyzer. I wasn't drunk, but it was just in my system that way. That's how my body was. But that person they would have let in. But now this person, who's actually a good person, trying to help people, trying to do things, and remaining sober, they won't let in because of a misdemeanor. Like, I don't know. I understand the frustration and I guess a little bit of anger.
Right.
But then I look at it like, hey, you know what? And I was talking to this other lady today, and I told her that, yeah, I made some decisions that might have hurt my credit. Like when I chose to go to sober living, you know, after my rehab, you know, I had an apartment, I had to break a lease. And, you know, that's not good. And then some people call it an eviction, but I wasn't evicted. You know, I told them, hey, not staying there no more. You might want to rent that bad boy out. And actually, I didn't even tell them because I was in treatment. My family did. My mom did. And she told them, you know, he's going to treatment. And I wasn't even sure what she told them. But she did tell him I was going to treatment. And they said, okay, you know, we'll just charge you till we rent out the apartment again, and not charge him to break the lease and all this other stuff, which somehow they got that screwed up somehow, because now it turns out they did charge me for that, or at least trying to. And I don't know, but
is there a difference then between an eviction and just having back pay?
Yes.
Oh, well then I wasn't evicted either.
Yeah. No.
I didn't go to court or anything. It wasn't like they were like, you need to get out.
Yeah.
They were just like, you're not paying your rent. And I was like, I can't afford it. And they're like, well, then here's the bill.
Oh.
Or whatever. So.
Well, maybe that could be an eviction. I don't know. But I asked one time.
It's a fine line.
I asked Tyrone.
Man,
And he was like, oh, no, you know when you get evicted. They give you court papers, and there's like a process to it all. So
okay. Well, I don't know if I should feel better now or not.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have filed it anyway, and then just you didn't get the papers. I don't know, but those decisions that I made, that now some people are like, man, you really messed it up. You know, I told the lady at the one apartment complex that I'm like, hey, look, I'm not sure I owe you that money. You know, I can pay you some until you rented it out, like you kind of agreed to, but you know, I made this decision to go to treatment, and then to get out of treatment. I was told that 78% of people, can stay sober up to a year if they stay at least 90 days in a sober living house. I wanted to do that, and I had nothing to lose. I had no more excuses of, oh, well, I got to go back to school, or, oh, I have to do. I was out of excuses, and it was like that give up point, which I didn't realize was not a give up point, but it was a starting line that took me way too long to get to.
Right.
But it's scary, people that own their own homes, and people that, oh, I have this job, I have this and that. Yeah. That's great. Go make that money, but you can't spend it. You're not going to spend it when you're dead, when you're not around, when everybody leaves you. Nobody likes being around somebody who's in addiction. They just don't. And it's all for naught, and you're going to waste it and throw it away anyway. So talk to the people you need to talk to. So if you do have a job, especially nowadays, you can go to them, especially since the corona. Go to them and say, look, I have a problem. I want to go to treatment, and then I might have to stay in a sober living house for 3 months. Will the job be here when I get back? Because if not, I will stay up north. I will stay wherever. I mean, that's the beauty of this country, is whether you live in St. Louis, Chicago, Atlanta, California. I just did the whole state of California, not a city. But LA, there you go. There's other opportunities out there, man. And you're going to be so shocked by how quick they're going to come if you're doing the right things, and you're not drinking, and you're not getting yourself in trouble, and you're going to work every day, and you're meeting sober people. I mean, the opportunities, it's just left and right. That's why if you go to an AA meeting, pay attention when they read the promises. If they don't read the promises, ask them to. They'll show you where it's at in the AA book if you don't have one. Look it up online. Look at the promises. Those are for real. And I've told many people this. I don't work the steps in AA anymore, but I love going to meetings. And the stuff that they say, it works for the most part. And, you don't have to, in my opinion, do anything you don't want to do. Some people, they like that. They like being told, you have to do this, you have to do that. And for me, it just didn't work that way. Of course, having to learn it on your own the hard way is kind of a good way to learn. I wouldn't recommend it. Maybe I should have listened. But, the promises, though, they're one thing that I totally agree with, man. Those things are real. Absolutely real. But
we have the promises.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, she's not even going online. She got the paper.
Oh,
See, that was for the Zoom meeting, right, that I was going to host?
Yeah. Hold up.
Which, once we get the Zoom, you know what, I'm messing around with that tomorrow. Or maybe tonight, and I'll put a link up to where you can go to Zoom meetings with us. I don't know.
Let's hear. Do you want to hear the 9 step promises?
Yeah.
All right. Here we are. This is from page 83, chapter 6, Into Action, from the Big Book. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
It is.
Good stuff.
And
that's the for reals right there.
You know, next time you're in a meeting, just kind of sit back, and if they're reading it, just listen and take a minute and think about how your life is going now, or how it was going, and give thanks to God. That's what I do. And I know, Marney, you were stressing yesterday pretty hardcore, and I was trying to and I stress too, and I just try not to show it as much. And
I don't know what you're talking about, for real.
For real?
Yeah. What time?
With the whole, hey, you have to sign this, and we need to get this moving, and sign this now, and make a decision. And I just said, hey, tell her 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep.
Aren't you pretty glad that God told me to tell you that?
Yeah. Thanks for the message.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why I told you that, but I just said, hey, man, how about you just wait till 4 o'clock tomorrow. You'll let her know if you're going to sign that or not, because that could be the right move or it could not be.
Right.
And at least by giving her that time, I mean, obviously, if you'd have signed it, then you'd have been like, oh my God, that was a horrible decision. And then you'd be flipping out even more.
Well, I'll just say that in hindsight, the stress period that we're speaking of about the apartment searching and what have you, I think that, it was a learning experience. It was the first time in a long time that I've actually really been, had to be actually kind of forced to be, but was able to just be completely open and honest about, the situations of my past, the what's and whys, and then what I've done to fix them, what I'm going to do to fix them. And, it doesn't happen overnight by any means. But that's okay, because, the bottom line is it's something that I'm working on, to repair, my past, be it financial, be it, connecting with my higher power. So like my spirituality, things that I let go, things that I let go by the wayside when I was, active in my disease. And when you're sober and you're actually forced to talk about those things, sometimes with random people, like complete strangers, it kind of is liberating in a way, because it's like, I don't know you, you don't know me, but I will tell you I will answer whatever questions that you have for me, because I'm not ashamed, because that's not who I am anymore. And that freaking feels awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
to have that moment of, I'm not ashamed. That's what happened, and here's who I am today.
Yeah.
Because of all that happening. And
yeah, because it's the truth. I would not have the job that I have now if it wasn't for what I've been through. I would not have you in my life if it wouldn't have been what I've been through. I, wouldn't have the relationship that I have back with my family if it wasn't for what I've been through. And, the new friendships that I've made, and people that I've met that are good for me and healthy. And I wouldn't have those people in my life if it wasn't for what I've been through. And you know what? The beauty of it is there's so much more to come, That's exciting. It's exciting stuff.
Talking to my mama today.
Sandy.
I was telling her about how, just things that will come to me. I don't know. It's God. It has to be God. And, there was a job that I went in for orientation last week, and the guy had said something about, you got to fill out a timesheet. You're familiar with a timesheet? And I was like, well, yeah. he's like, yeah, it's just something we need, for the government to track this and that. And I'm like, oh, government track.